Welcome, everybody, to the U16 pod. I'm Ryan MacArthur.
And I'm Connor Williams. And on the last episode of the U16 pod, we covered the Ottawa region, the Hockey Eastern Ontario, HEO. We had three phenomenal interviews, one with forward Hunter McKnight, defenseman Rory Gilmore, and then goaltender Jaden Chalette. Three great interviews, so definitely go check out that Ottawa episode if you want some insight and kind of get some knowledge on those players out in Ottawa. As it's always tough to get some looks. They're really far out east there, so definitely go check out that episode on YouTube or on whatever podcast platform you get your podcasts on. But we're back today. We're going to resume our kind of league-wide kind of content here, and it was a bit of a quiet week for us here. Not too much hockey. It was kind of a bit of a break in the SCTA and ETA as the playoffs were starting to kind of find their groove and starting to get going, as well as leagues were starting to they're starting to wrap up, and but the SCTA playoffs got going for a bit, a couple of games here and there, but it wasn't too busy in hockey. I was hoping to go to a lot of games as I was home for reading week, but as I'm sure many people, if anyone follows me on Twitter, knows I got hit with the COVID bug, so I wasn't able to go very far or much. But there was a big event, I think, that did happen recently, right before as we record this episode now, and that was the GTHL Top Prospects game. And obviously it was a big event. Obviously last year it didn't happen. Disappointing as disappointing as it didn't happen. It was definitely great to have that event back. I know you got to go there live, and it had the buzz. The players, obviously the GTHL showed their video beforehand of the players getting to get the Under Armour gear, get the jerseys, and have that gear back. And there's definitely that buzz in the rink, which is always awesome. And Team Black versus Team White, little bit of low key kind of Marlies and Sens versus JRC and Markham and North York there with some other players from other teams as well sprinkled in there. But obviously, for anyone who didn't watch the game or wasn't able to catch the game or didn't see the score, Team Black did take it 4-2. I'll give you the goals. I'll give anyone who isn't aware of the box score or whatnot, or who managed to get on the score sheet in terms of straight up goals and assists wise. It's always exciting for those players who are able to kind of pot a goal or two in that game. It's always exciting. But for Team Black, the first goal was William Moore potted a nice one in the slot there.
Oh, that curl and drag was unreal, man. Like, that was gorgeous live to watch. Like, oh.
It was he loves that. He's so good at that, and he's so good at finding those lanes and putting himself in those spots. And he's got that finishing ability too. And we gave 207s were playing in that game. I mean, William Moore right there, and Michael Misa was also in that game. So on the first goal, William Moore, obviously, as I just mentioned, and then Gabe Frasca and Luke Warner picked up the assist there on that goal. And then the second goal came from another couple Sens here, Gabe Frasca, and then from William Moore again. Gabe Frasca did get the player of the game honors for Team Black there, and had a great game in and of himself. So he had congrats to him on getting that player of the game honors. This is always a huge accomplishment, getting a player of the game, and as big a game as that GTHL Top Prospects game always is there. And then third goal, this was the game-winning goal. You had Riley Patterson potting it from a nice, beautiful saucer pass from Sam Dickinson there, front of the pod. Came on in our GTHL episode during the lockdown. Just hit a beautiful saucer pass. What a live there, Ryan.
What a pass, eh? Like, that was just unbelievable. Right on the money, and then Patterson just buried it. But that pass was like, he doesn't get much better than that, right?
Oh, just the perfect amount of sauce. Like, you could put that sauce on a pizza, pasta, whatever you want. That beautiful. The sauce, it just right on the tape in stride, and it's just beautiful finish there as well. And I'll also mention a secondary assist as well. Bodie Stewart picked up a beautiful assist, kind of getting the puck over to Dickinson on the play. And I know you mentioned to me he had a great game as well.
Yeah. Bodie Stewart was unbelievable. Like, I was able to catch a game other than this one. I was at the Top Prospects game, but the game that they beat North York 6-0. And I mean, the takeaway from that is like pretty much Bodie Stewart, really solid, fast, really, really good player. And also in that game, Malcolm Spence, like, I think those two guys are kind of solidified as first rounders. They've been really good in the games I've seen, all the games I've seen of the Sens recently. So I think they're going to go high in the draft. And but yeah, that Bodie Stewart, he had a great Top Prospects game. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great point there, but the two about Malcolm Spence and Bodie Stewart there, I think they're
Yeah,
definitely they found that consistency on the year, and it's definitely put themselves in a spot where teams are really like. I mean, they already like the two of
they're
them.
surging. Yeah,
Exactly,
yeah.
they're on the ups, and it's showing. So, great job by the two of them on the season, and great job by the two of them at the top prospects game there. And obviously, as I said, 4-2. So final goal here from Black was a insurance marker on the empty net. Leo Serlin from Beckett Seneca. A couple Marlies teaming up there and putting on the insurance marker there for Team Black as they sealed the deal for the win there for Team Black. And then Team White, um, they scored 2 goals in the game. It's the first one was Jacob Battaglia scored the goal from Zane Perek and Lex Terrence, a couple Markham Majors defensemen teaming up to pass one over to a JRC player to pot one there. The first one for Team White. They had a nice comeback too before Black ended up taking the lead there in the third. But a nice first goal from Battaglia as he picked the corner there with a nice shot. And then the second goal, Kashawn Atchison from the North York Rangers potted a nice one from on these off an assist from Sam O'Reilly and Michael Hagg. Great games from those players as well. Michael Hagg had a really solid game. Really great performance. So as a whole from that group, I think as well, Ryan.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it was a great game. I was lucky enough to get down there and attend the game. It was, yeah, it was good. Like, you can't beat that, right? For U16 hockey, I mean, you got to get down for that if you can, because it's just a must see event every year and really really exciting. Like, just a whole show that put on, like celebrity coaches. I mean, people like who's there? Angela James, Wayne Primo, Wendell Clark, Darcy Tucker, Anthony Stewart, Ted Nolan, like on it just like from the coaches through to the play, through to the whole production and everything. It's a must see event. So if you weren't able to get down there, it's available on YouTube, I believe, right? Is it up on
I don't
YouTube?
think it's up on YouTube yet. It is available if anyone wants to purchase. You got to buy kind of the game on stream top prospects
Okay.
little thing, and you can watch it on demand. If you're looking to watch that, there they have put up previous top prospects game on YouTube before, so I'm
Yeah.
sure the GTHL will get that up on YouTube at some point in the near future. But at the moment, it is available for anyone looking to purchase it on Game On via the top prospects. I'm sure you find the website, Twitter at the GTHL at GTHL Hockey. They got the link on there from just before when the game started and all those updates started happening. So definitely, if you want to check it out and want to watch it, it's pretty cheap actually, $10 actually, not too bad a price for online. I was able to purchase it online there too. So if you're looking to buy it, pretty good price I think, and it was for a great
Yeah.
game too. So
Yeah.
um, definitely
That's good.
go buy it if you're interested in that there. So, but
Yeah.
I know you also mentioned to me some other players. I mean, I mentioned Beckett Seneca had a great game as well, and I know you also mentioned Justin Hoon also had a really great game. For defenseman from the Sens also had a really strong performance in that top prospects game, eh?
Yeah, yeah, he definitely did. I'll just go through. I got the roster beside me, so I'm gonna go through the guys that really stood out for me in the game, just from my eye and what I thought. But um, so I'll start with Ryerson Leanders. We had him on the pod, goalie for the Toronto Young Nationals. His glove was unbelievable. He made a lot of good glove saves. He made a lot of good saves, like second, third opportunities. He was knocking the saving those rebound chances. He did let one in, but it wasn't a bad goal. Like from his perspective, he was really strong. I think he was the best goalie in the game. Landon Miller, Vaughn King's goalie, he was really good as well. Miller's got a lot of size and he's really athletic, moves great laterally, really good technically. So Landon Miller is gonna be a goalie that to watch out for in the future for sure. He's had a great year in Vaughan as well. And then other players that stood out. I mean, Sam Dickinson, like can't go wrong with Sam Dickinson. Like that pass that we mentioned, that sauce pass for that assist there was gorgeous, and he's just so physical. He's big, he's strong, he's a force. Like he's the type of defenseman if you're gonna kind of skate in the pocket of the zone and you're at center ice and you're looking at the 2D that you could attack one way or the other, you're definitely going to go the other way because it's like to get around him is nearly impossible. He's so fast, so solid, such great balance, such a good player. And you mentioned Justin Hoon. Holy crap! Like he had a really good game. Like when he keeps his feet moving and keeps his speed going, he's really good. And he's super smart with the puck. Like his hockey IQ is really elite and on another level. Continuing through here, Frasca got player of the game. He was solid. Quinten Lisle was open a lot and somehow didn't get fed a pass when he was wide open. Like he could have had, I swear he could have had like 4 breakaways and the path was there for the pass, but unfortunately didn't get those pucks and it didn't happen. But I thought like just in terms of like moving to open space and stuff, that was really a lead on his part. Carter Lowe, obviously just unbelievable player, so fast, so big and strong. He had a strong game. Michael Misa and William Moore, the 07 superstars, playing up in the top prospects game. Like, I mean, we mentioned William Moore, that unbelievable curl and drag. That was just such a high-end goal. Like, for me, I'd almost even have given Moore player of the game. I thought he was really strong. I think he really stood out and like had a great game. Michael Misa like is so fast. Like it's crazy how like he had these bursts of speed and acceleration where like he just basically went through everyone a couple times and got stopped by the goalie. But like that ability and that speed playing up is really noticeable. Like he could have been, I mean, he was arguably the fastest in the game at times, right? And he's a year younger than everybody else, which is crazy. And Riley Patterson had a great game-winning goal, unbelievable goal, great game, really physical, good player. Beckett Seneke, like he's a player that I've always liked, but he is surging. Like if I was doing a ranking right now, he'd be surging up my board. I always liked him, but like he's really kind of putting things together. And I think with him, I think there's a lot of growing to be done still. Like just based on some research I've done and things, like I think he could be a big prospect because just in terms of people I talk to and things and different things that have come to light, like watch for him to grow. And I mean, he's also like not small now and like he's solid, like he's so skilled and elite. So if he gets that size that people are predicting he'll get, watch out because he could be a big player, like huge in the OHL, right? And then I mean I mentioned Malcolm Spence and Bodie Stewart. They're solidified first rounders for me, and they had great games as well. And that's Team Black. That's the team that won the game. But I'll jump over to Team White here. Kashawn Atchison, really good game. He was good, smart with the puck, patient, calm, and also very physical. Anthony Cristoforo from JRC had a really good game. Like what really stood out for me was his shot. Really, really powerful shot, wrist shots, slap shots from the point, one-timers, great velocity, caused goalies problems, like caused rebounds in front, goal scoring chances galore because of his unreal shot. So Rowan Top had a huge hit. I always love watching Rowan Top. He's one of my favorite D in the draft. He's so fun to watch with that physicality and everything he brings. He makes standout plays. Battaglia had a good game, and I was just behind and to the left of the Battaglia cheering section when he scored his goal. They went crazy, and I love that. Like I love seeing families have those moments because it's just like it's what it's all about, right? Like just they were so happy and great for them. Like there was a lot of them there, and they were pumped. So I was happy to see that. And then going through the rest of the guys, Michael Haig had a good game. I mean, yeah, he's always good, right? Fast, really, really skilled player. And I mean, Kevin He, I saw him in that game last week, a 6-0 loss to the Mississauga Sens that North York had there. They're going to get another shot at them tonight, actually. The day we're recording is so yeah, so we'll see if they can fix that result, that 6-0 loss result. But despite that, he was still buzzing in that 6-0 game and buzzing at the top prospects game. Like he's always kind of creating chances and really smart with the puck, attacks the middle really well, and really, really highly skilled. And then the Martone, Porter Martone, and Antonio Tersini, and Jack Van Volsum line. I mean, as always, like that line is always buzzing and creating chances, and it was no different at the top prospects game. They left them together. A lot of the lines were like that. They kept the various Like they had like a Marley's line, a Sens line, JRC line. So I kind of like how they keep those guys together so that they can play with players they have chemistry with. But let me just take a quick look here, make sure I got everybody while I'm out of breath from all that talking.
No, I really like the point you made about keeping them together because I really liked seeing that Martone, Tersini,
Yeah,
and Van Volsen line because the top prospects games are always tough sometimes for players because you're playing with you're playing with guys you've don't necessarily play with very much. So there's that chemistry kind of imbalance, I guess you could say. So having that knowledge and having that familiarity is probably a big help for them. It creates some comfortability in that sort of situation. I'm sure Antonio Testini, as he's taking the puck and looking to make a pass, he just doesn't have to think too much during that top prospects game when he knows Van Volsen or Martone, he knows where they're going to be. Whereas if he wasn't playing on that line, maybe he'd have to take that extra second to think, okay, where's my teammate going to be this time? I mean, he's already a smart player as is, so it doesn't take much, but it's just those little things that help make the top prospects game kind of easier, I think, for a lot of these guys, which is great.
Yeah, and I mean those were the standouts for that particular game from my vantage point, from my eye. But I mean, you look at that roster. There's a lot of players I didn't mention, and players we've had on the pod. Like it's an elite game. Like every single player on that list, I like and enjoy watching. And I just think the ones I mentioned, just they particularly had a strong game that night. That's my opinion, right?
Absolutely,
So,
and it's just highlights the elite level of play and the elite hockey that's being played by these 2006 players and 207s. But it's just phenomenal, and once again, just a massive congratulations to all the players who participated in that game. It's a huge accomplishment to play in that game. Whether you win or lose that game, it's a huge accomplishment. So once again, huge congratulations to all the players who participated in that game. It's phenomenal, and really excited to watch those guys as they go back to their teams now, as we know they're going to be impactful players for their respective teams. So really excited for that. But as we kind of move away from this top prospects game now, we did want to give a little playoff recap here it's been a week, but it's been some tight playoff games so far so far in the playoffs, and some playoffs are starting to take shape where teams are starting to kind of separate and whatnot here. The SCTA and ETA are two primary leagues that have kind of started the playoffs here. HEO just started. They got a slightly different playoff format with the knockout round, and then the teams that make it out of the knockout round will make it into the quarterfinals to face a bunch of teams that have solidified their spot. But the ETA and SCTA specifically, I mean, the SCTA, they've got the two groups, and we've talked about this ad nauseum here. Niagara North is kind of putting themselves in a spot where they're fairly locked in, and they're probably it's theirs to lose more so to make it out of the SCTA playoffs. But as Niagara North started off with two big wins, 9-0 over Oakville and 9-1 over Grey Bruce. So two big wins for Niagara North, and Halton started off their playoffs. They're the second seed. They've only played one game, but they've got a big win already. And then in the other group for the SCTA, you got Hamilton already off to a quick start here. Three wins, no losses, 6 points there. So they're a top group 2 in the SCTA standings there. And then the Southern Tier Admirals. We've actually got a guest coming on in this episode from the Southern Tier Admirals, a defenseman, Callum Cheynowski. So Southern Tier's had a solid start. It's two teams from each of the two groups make it through. So Southern Tier and Hamilton have kind of given themselves a bit of a buffer here in that group, while Niagara North has looked to give themselves a bit of a buffer here, and Halton still got lots of games left to play. So the SCTA is going to be really exciting to watch. And then the ETA, I mean, you look at Series A, Ryan. I mean, Quinten and Markham, I think it's playing out a bit how we expected here with Quinten and Markham. They're both 3-0. It's really setting up, I think. They each play each other. It's like a home and home. So Markham will play in Quinten for a game, and then vice versa. Markham is going to travel to Quinten on March 6th at 1:30, and then Quinten is going to travel to Markham for a big game for a lot of GTA folks on March 13th at 6 p.m. And those two are going to be massive games, I think. If Markham, those are going to be big games for Markham in particular, I think, because Quinten's a team that Markham's going to be looking to make.
They haven't lost.
Exactly.
They haven't lost an ETA game this year.
Exactly.
Like,
So
That's unbelievable. We're into the playoffs, and they've had what, 3 ties, and all wins. I have a whole whack of, like, I have a ton of Quinty highlights on my phone that I'm gonna get up on Instagram soon. Um, like they're just killing it, like Rogers and Danford and Toms and McIver and McInnes and net. Like they're just like, and they're such a deep team. The whole roster is really good. Like they're rolling. So yeah, they haven't lost. That's crazy, right?
Yeah, and it'll be a big 2 games for the Waxers there.
Yeah, it will be big. Yeah.
I should mention 2 teams will come out of that group, Group A in the ETA playoffs right now. Excuse me. So 2 teams will come out of there, the first top 2 teams. So right now it is setting up to be the Waxers and Quinny that will come out.
Yeah.
But obviously you still want to finish the top. You want to be on that roll, and you want to kind of have a little statement game saying we are the best team coming out of the ATA as you look to progress into the OMHAs in the near future. As that's happening in the March 25th to 27th weekend, I believe.
In Oakville, yeah, it is. It's going to be March 27th, 25th to 27th in Oakville. That's going to be unbelievable. I'm pretty sure all the OMHA championships for AAA are going to be in Oakville this year. So some of them are going to be that March 25th to 27th weekend, and then there's also going to be a bunch of them like start of April, like April 1st to 4th or 5th or whatever, whatever it is. Start of April and end of March. If you're in the Oakville area, look that up because there's going to be a lot of good hockey in the area.
Yeah, should be played at either. I'd imagine they put it at 16 Mile with the phenomenal facility they have there, but Joshua Creek's also got a great facility. So, like you mentioned,
Yes.
if you're in that area that weekend and want to see some hockey,
Yeah, it's the place to be.
go check it out. But as I mentioned, there, Waxers, Quinny have kind of separated themselves in Group A. There's 3 groups in the ETA right now for the playoffs, and Waxers and the Red Devils have put themselves kind of separated themselves right now. And then Series B, it's tight in Series B in the ETA right now. Barry Junior Colts, they're up top right now. Everyone's played 2 games, and Barry's 1-0-1, 3 points, and Ajax, Pickering, and Kingston are tied at 2 right behind Barry, and then Central Ontario's got 1 point in 2 games there. So it's tight in that Series B. Interesting. It'll be interesting. Ajax, the 3rd seed there, but it looks like anyone's, as we know, once they're in the playoffs, anything can happen. So it'll be exciting to see what happens there. It's really tight. There's been a bunch of ties. Really, Barry's the only team that's won a game amongst the group, and the rest have been tie games. So it's going to be exciting to see how that Series B plays out in the ETA playoffs there. And as we look forward to seeing who comes out of that Series B, as there can only be one team. The winner of Series B will make it out of that group there. So then Series C here from the ETA. This is a phenomenal group. Oh gosh, I'm jealous I don't live out in that neck of the woods at
I
the
know.
because you got North Central,
What
you
a
got
bloodbath, eh? Like unreal.
you got North Central, you got Richmond Hill, you got Clarington, and you got York Simcoe, all in the group. And just to highlight the fact that these teams are also close and so evenly matched, they've all won a game and lost a game so far in the playoffs. They've each played 2 games, and it's tight. Richmond Hill, Clarington beat Richmond Hill in the first game in overtime. Shout out Jacob Terrian with the little goal, Selly, the Austin Matthews.
Gotta love Tarian, yeah.
North Central topped York Simcoe 4-0 in Aurelia there. They play each other coming up on Sunday, this time in York Simcoe's barn. Close game despite the score. Richmond Hill then topped North Central 6-4 in a tight game, and then York Simcoe topped Clarington 2-1 in a tight game. So it's really anyone's ball game. It's honestly it's a shame only one team can come out of there, Ryan, because those teams are all exciting to watch, and they're all so tightly, evenly matched. And it's a shame only one team's going to come out of there.
Yeah, it's an interesting playoff format. Like it's been in the SCTA for a while. Maybe not this exact version, but it's certainly an interesting format. But those teams in that tight group, like just to think that only one of them is going to come through, that's pretty tough for them. But I mean, it's hard to make the OMHAs, and this year's going to be actually a little different. There's going to be 8 teams in the OMHAs, which is actually more than usual. Usually there's only just 5, and then the way they've had it in the past is there's 4 automatic entries to the OHL Cup from that. I'd imagine there'll be 4 automatic entries from OMHAs, and then the other 4 teams will have to battle it out for a wild card. But there are more spots in the OMHAs this year. But you get back to this group that we were talking about. Like what a tough situation to be in. But whoever makes it out, I think like I think if you make it out of that group and you make it to OMHAs, you're going to be coming to the OMHAs on a high, and you're going to be like just probably like the most like I just think it's going to put you in a good spot, like you really won a series and kind of going to the OMHAs on a high, right?
Oh, absolutely. Great point there, and I think it'll make that team, whoever comes there,
Yeah.
it's going to be a scary team to face with
Oh
the
yeah, I
streak.
think so. I think you'll just be like shot out of a cannon for the start of the OMHAs, right? Because that'll be such a huge win to win that group.
No, absolutely. So everything's tight right now in the playoffs, tight in the ETA playoffs, tight in the SCTA playoffs. There, excited to see how that plays out as the OMHAs are in Oakville, really close in the GTA there. So really excited for that. So as we move on from those playoffs, before we jump into the interviews, I did want to mention one game that did happen over the weekend. We weren't able to make it there, but I know our buddy Rain Hernandez did. He got some great footage of the game. This was a
He
massive.
always makes it there.
He's on that grind. Shout out Rain Hernandez. Shout out
Yeah,
RCH Sports for being on that grind. He's doing tons of great work still. But
awesome.
we'd be remiss if we didn't mention, because this we talked about the Sens JRC and JRC Marley's games in the G being so massive in the scope of the G and the scope of just U16 AAA. The game in the Alliance that happened this weekend, um, actually Monday, was massive. Was a big game in terms of the Alliance standings as Brantford took on London. And before the game, this was setting up where because Brantford had played London one time previously this season and took that game 8-5. So this game, if Brantford took this game, they were going to take the tiebreaker had they ended up vaulting themselves into a first position, and they ended up taking it 4-2. Braden McCallum had 2 goals in that game. Merrick Vanacker had a goal. Lucas Carmier, friend of the pod, former guest, he potted the insurance, the empty netter, to seal the deal there. So it was a tight game as you'd expect with two formidable teams going up against each other. But Brantford's now put themselves in a position where they hold kind of the fate of they hold their own fate. They control their own destiny here in terms of playoff position, where they play on Friday against Huron Perth, and if they win, they now become the first seed. But if they lose, there's the potential for them to drop to the 3 seed. So still implications taking place in that Alliance standings, but London's going to be stuck in that can't drop no lower than the 2nd seed. But it's tons to work out here, and it's going to be exciting for that Friday, that final weekend here for the Alliance regular season, because Brantford's got a chance to put themselves in a great position in terms of the Alliance playoffs, and it'll be so exciting the way it's set up. But that was a massive game, Ryan. Just massive for the landscape of the Alliance there.
Yeah, Brantford's surging. I mean, yeah, like I think with the players you mentioned, Brantford, they're definitely a legitimate threat for the OHL Cup to win it all, and London is as well. But Brantford's surging, and I think they ended up at 7th on the most recent. The Central Scouting put out their U16 team rankings, so they're surging, and that's this is the right time to hit your stride, right? And they're healthy, and they're absolutely rolling right now.
No, absolutely. So definitely an exciting time as the Alliance playoffs is going to get underway soon with the last weekend of the regular season coming up here. So excited to see how that plays out and hopefully get out to some Alliance playoffs too once they get started. But like I mentioned, we just wanted to hit on that game, but we'll get into the 3 interviews we have set up for this episode. 3 great interviews. We got one with forward Quinten Lisle. As we talked about him a bit earlier, as he had a great top prospects game. I talked to him about kind of how excited he was to be a part of that top prospects game and talk to him a bit about his game. He's an exciting player to watch. He brings a ton of energy, and we'll get into him a bit more too after the interview. But we also got an interview with defenseman Callum Cheynowski, as well as forward Tate Vader from the Huron Perth Lakers. Cheynowski from the Southern Tier Admirals there, I should mention. But 3 great interviews. Really excited for everyone to see these. So we'll start off the first interview here with forward Quinten Lisle from the Mississauga Sens. So here's the interview with Quinten Lisle. All right, we are now joined on the U16 pod by star forward from the Mississauga Sens U16 AAA program, Quinten Lisle. Quinten, how's it going?
I'm good. Excited to be here. Thanks for having me out.
No problem. Our pleasure. I mean, it's been fun watching you this season. When you've had a terrific season with the Sens, you guys have had so much success, and your individual success has been recognized. I mean, you're a top prospect for the 2022 OHL draft. and the GTHL took notice, and you're getting the chance to play in the GTHL Chalk Prospects game. I mean, you must be jacked for that. How much are you looking forward to that experience coming up here?
Oh, it's huge. I've been jacked ever since I found out. I got off the ice from a practice, and I remember looking at my phone and seeing my name on the roster. And ever since then, I've been just counting down the days, and then it got pushed back, but it's here. So I'm excited to like showcase what I can bring to the table and play with the other top skill from our league.
Oh, that's awesome. I mean, it should be a fun game. I mean, you and the Sens boys are all together, so they're keeping you guys there. It should be a fun rivalry game too, with the different players on it. But I mean, like I mentioned too, with your team, the Mississauga Sens, you guys have been dynamite this year. I mean, you've been in an absolute tear lately as well. You came off a massive win against the JRC recently. I mean, how excited are you guys to kind of clinch a berth in the playoffs, as well as kind of, I think I don't want to put the horse ahead or whatever that saying is, get too far ahead of myself here, but how excited are you guys to potentially clinch a berth in the OHL Cup coming up here?
Oh yeah, like you said, we still got to finish out our season, finish playoffs, but I think we're gonna pull it off. I think we're gonna be able to get a good opportunity to play in the OHL Cup, and it's an incredible feeling. Like it's what you dream of as a kid playing minor hockey. Coaches have done an amazing job getting us ready for it, and like as a kid watching guys like Shane Wright and Connor McDavid playing this, it's just special that I'm getting the same opportunity as them, be on the big stage. So it's pretty cool.
That's awesome. I mean, it's incredible watching you guys, your team play, the energy you guys bring, the intensity you guys play with, the pace you guys play at. And I mean, going into your game now, you're a big part of that. Because I mean, watching you play, for me, you just bring so much energy and passion to the ice, and it's exciting watching you play. And I mean, just how have you been able to bring such a high compete, so much energy, so on such a consistent basis this year?
Like everyone on our team has their roles, and ever since I've joined the Sens, I kind of found my role as being like one of the energy guys. So I know what I got to do every time I go on the ice. My teammates, they put their all out there every time they step on the ice. So I just know I got to do the same for them because they're doing the same for me. It's just putting ourselves in the best situation to win games, win tournaments, and yeah, that's about it.
Oh, I love that. And it makes it entertaining for a fan too. I mean, watching you guys, I found the games are awesome, but I found at the start of the season too, when I first got to watch you guys in the Markham tournament, one of the most entertaining parts was actually staying there because at Canline you're like right by the dressing
Oh
room.
yeah,
And the most entertaining part was watching you guys come out on the ice there and watching like the energy
yeah,
you guys come out with, where you guys have
yeah,
that confidence to you. You got the music going. I think I heard
yeah,
William Moore's got the aux, and
yeah. Morrissey's got ox.
so like you guys had the I had to Shazam. I had to like Shazam. I had to Shazam one of those like songs you guys were
Oh, one of our
playing.
walkout tunes. Yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah,
I had to Shazam one of those because you guys had some bangers going there, and
yeah.
I love the energy, especially when you're coming on the ice. The little woo you give like as you're
Oh
coming out,
yeah,
and just bringing
yeah.
that energy.
I just started doing that this year actually. I don't know. I don't really know how that started, but it's get some boys going. So gonna keep it rolling.
I love it. It doesn't just get the boys going. It gets everyone else excited for the game too.
There
So
you
it's
go. There you
awesome.
go.
Oh, but I mean, in addition to your energy, you're skating as well. I mean, it's just incredible to watch, and you get tremendous speed on the ice, and it adds to the entire game. And the forecheck you bring doesn't give the opposition much time. I mean, you also change your pace, and you're able to change direction really quickly as well. I mean, how do you like to use those skating abilities to your advantage in various situations, just to change the game and create advantages in different scenarios for yourself?
Like you said, like on the forecheck, like to get in there. So puck battles are always a big part of my game. So escaping pressure with the puck, even without the puck getting open, like finding the soft spots in the O zone, playing with guys on my team who can find me wherever I am on the ice. So it's a big part of it is finding the space where they can feed the puck, maybe feed them back. And then in the D zone, just maybe popping out, blocking a shot, coming an outlet, like it's huge. It helps me a lot, and I've been working on my skating quite a bit this past year. And obviously, it's got to get better, but you can always get better. And I think I'm on the right track to the next level.
No, I think you're definitely right there. You're definitely working towards the right track, and all the work you put in is definitely shown. And I mean the shot blocks as well. I love the point you made there about getting in the lanes and the shot blocks. I know that probably gets the boys going too. It's
Oh
helps the
yeah,
goalies out and all that. So it's great. And the point you made there about putting yourself in the right spots as well. That's something huge that I've noticed that you do so well is just putting yourself in good spots and putting yourself in a position for yourself to score as well as set up your teammates, which is incredible. Um, but then, I mean, for whoever, I don't know who hasn't seen the Sens play, but if for people who haven't seen the Sens play and haven't seen you play, I mean, I've talked about your game here, but if you had sort of 3 words to describe your game, kind of what would those 3 words be and why?
First of all, for me, I'd say probably physical. I'm more of like a physical guy. Like they're not always big hits, but try and finish my hits as much as I can. Just let the other guys know I'm there. Maybe they'll cough the puck up. You never know. So I try and finish my hits as much as I can. I'm gonna say responsible in the D zone on the PK. Just this year, actually, coach has been putting me on the PK a little bit more. So I'm trying to find my role as a PK guy. Like I said before, block shots, just get the puck out. And lastly, I'd probably say selfless. Try and use my teammates as much as I can. More of like a pass first type of guy. So I like to incorporate my line mates and my teammates as much as I can.
I love it. That word selfless. That's not a lot of guys use that word, and it's a great word, especially. And I love the responsibilities that you've kind of really grown into as well, and seeing that PK and really growing into that position as well. It's been great to see, and you've definitely played well into that role. And I think your coaches have rewarded you well for it. And it's incredible. And then kind of moving a bit away from hockey in some sense, but sticking with it in a way. I don't know how superstitious, if you got any superstitions and whatnot, but do you have any pregame routines for you that are a must for you?
Yeah, I got a couple. One thing, I always put my left equipment on before my right. That's one thing I've always done since I can remember. But even before that, I always sit beside the same guys in the room for every game, no matter what. And if I have a good game, my last game I played, I'll always listen to the same song before we go out for warm-ups. So that's probably the biggest one. I gotta try and remember what song I played, but most of the time I'm pretty good at it.
Oh my, okay. So I gotta ask then, what's the current, any chance I can get what's the current song maybe? Can you remember the current song?
Yeah, so we had a game yesterday, and the one I played before warm-ups was Super Gremlin by Kodak Black.
Nice.
Yeah, I've been on a little bit of a roll. I think it's like 3 games in a row now I've been listening to that, so it's
Cool.
getting me
Okay.
going. Yeah,
Okay. So we're hoping maybe Kodak Black sticking with
there
the
we go.
for a while here, because that'll be a good sign then, I guess. So,
Yeah.
and then I'll follow up too. Any chance you can get you to spill on who the 2 guys you sit next to in the room are?
Yeah, Michael Misa and Gabe Praska.
Nice. Nice. There you go.
Usually we're in a corner somewhere, but if not, yeah, we're always beside each other. So
How's the room set up? Because I know you guys play at Paramount. Is that room fairly good for you guys? Like spacious enough where you guys got enough space?
yeah, it's not bad. It's definitely not the biggest rooms, but we make it work. We usually you walk in and you see me, Frasca, and Misa at the back on one side, and then Spence on the other side with his boys. He always sits beside, and everyone kind of sits in the same spot every time. We got the goalies in the other corner, so it's fairly the same every time. If you were to walk in our room in any given game, it'd most likely be the same.
I like it. That's pretty awesome. I like that camaraderie you guys have. That's pretty cool. It shows how close you guys are, and it definitely
Yeah.
like translates on the ice, which is awesome. And then we'll move away from sports here for a bit. Got a couple fun questions for you. First one, if you could have any kind of extraordinary superpower, what would you choose and why?
Ooh. I'd probably say like I don't know what it's called, but I'd be pretty cool to like control things with my mind. I don't know why. That's always been one, like as a kid growing up, you'd be like, oh, if I could control that, like if I could think this and it would happen, that'd be pretty awesome.
Oh, yeah, that's a pretty good one. I gotta say right now, for me, now that I can drive, the one for me is flying. That way I
Oh
can
yeah.
just skip traffic and whatever. But like controlling things either mine, that's a huge one. Um, I'd love one for like just tests, like exams and stuff, where I could just right there just get all the answers and stuff, so I
Exactly.
don't have to like study and whatnot because I'm just brutal with studying. But
Oh, me
that's a
too.
huge, that's a great super. That'd be a great superpower to have. I gotta say as well. And then kind of along the similar theme of superhero powers, I guess, but kind of along the lines of movies. Let's say a movie's being made about your life. Who would you choose to play in the film?
That's a good one. Probably Adam Sandler, just because like I don't know, I don't really relate to him, but he's played a lot of different roles in a bunch of movies, and I think he could play me pretty well. He'd make it pretty interesting, pretty funny. So I'd definitely give that role to him.
Hey, he's guy who's been like a lot of comedy films too. I feel like he could
Yeah.
fit your role too with the way he acts and stuff, and like just the way I think he could fit your role pretty well. The energy you got and like just how outgoing you are, I feel like he'd fit your role pretty good too.
Yeah, and he could like he's played a bunch of different roles in different movies, different personalities. So I think he could adapt pretty well.
Gosh, that'd be a sick one too. So that's awesome. But um, taking up a lot of your time here. Really appreciate you coming on the pod, man. I mean, just best of luck the rest of the season. Best of luck at the top prospects game. Congrats on that.
Thank
Best of
you.
luck on the rest of the season with the Sens. Best of luck. I know I don't want to get too ahead of myself again, but best of luck at the OHL Cup and best of luck at the OHL Draft. Thanks for coming on, Quinten.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And we're back from our interview with forward Quinten Lisle from the Mississauga Sens U16 AAA program there. And I mean, we talked about him a bit earlier on this episode here with a great effort in the top prospects game to put on a strong performance. And for me, just talking to him in the interview itself, he really kind of off the ice, he's just like he is kind of on the ice too, with his personality and the vibes he gives off. It's just outgoing, energetic. You're just so positive, and it was so much fun talking to him first of all, and watching him on the ice. He brings that energy, excitement to the game where. Before they get on the ice, he gets his team going. He's got that. I mentioned he's got that woo that he lets go right before they get on the ice, and he brings that energy and he carries that onto the ice with his play. He understands one of the things that I thought highlighted kind of his IQ and the intelligence he plays with is when we talked about his energy and bringing that physicality to the ice as well. Was he understands his role. He talked about that role that he's got on his team, and he play that role and do it well and do it really effectively, and he does it so good. Because he brings that physical, that energetic element where no matter what, whether it's on the forecheck or whether it's getting after someone in the D zone, he's going and he's going to go hit a guy. He's going to finish his check and he's going to be physical. It's not always going to doesn't necessarily always have to be a big blow up hit or whatnot. But it's just letting the guy know, yeah, I'm here. I'm always going to be here, buddy. And it just brings that intimidating presence and it lets them know that I'm here and hey, when I'm coming in on the forecheck, you're gonna feel it. So get that puck away, and it causes turnovers. And I've seen him doing a bunch of times this year, but he's really good at that aspect of just finishing his checks and bringing that energy to the game, Ryan.
Oh yeah, no, he's always applying pressure. He's got that tenacious forecheck, and he's on you, right? Like his skating is a big part of his game, and physicality is really consistent. He finishes his checks, yeah, like he's always kind of causing turnovers and disrupting the defense or the forwards on the other team. So with him, I mean, like it starts with that skating and that footwork. Really, really good skater, fast, got good speed, good edges, good turns, good movements. And I mean, he's just got that, like you mentioned, like he gets the team fired up for the game. He's got that passion for the game, that drive, and so consistent. Like you kind of get what you're going to get from him each game, and reliable, right? Like really, really good player. And yeah, like he's with that speed and that skating, like he's always buzzing. He always keeps his feet moving. He's always kind of like creating chances in the offensive end, but like he's a great playmaker, great passer, sees the ice well, and makes great plays. I also think he sees the ice well when he's away from the puck. Like he moves to spots really, really well. Like in the top prospects game, he sees kind of where the lane can be and like skates in a spot where so the guy like his teammates can get him the puck, but they also have a lane to get him the puck. So he's always like kind of skating to open spots that they look really smart to me. I mean, I pick up on that stuff. In the top prospects game, I mentioned in the analysis like of that earlier in this episode, I thought he could have had a couple breakaways if people had seen him quicker. And I mean, there was times where they had 2 or 3 seconds to see him and then he would have had a breakaway, but just he didn't get those pucks. But anyways, like I think he's really smart, that hustle, right? Like he's always on it. And even like the back check, like that consistent effort and then that speed. It just so many factors of the game. Like he's good defensively, offensively. And it's really that skating, that footwork that really separates them, right?
No, you hit the nail on the head there, and you took the words right out of my mouth there with his his ability to move into open space without the puck, which I found to be massive, especially when I first
Yeah.
saw him. That's one of the first things I noticed, and he's able to do that on a consistent basis, which is move himself, like you mentioned, when he doesn't have the puck, put himself in a spot where even in the O zone, I find where he finds a way to find that soft area kind of around in that quality kind of grade A home plate area where he can get the puck, or if someone shoots the puck, he's got that rebound chance where he's not, to our point as well about his effort and his grit there. He's not afraid to hang around the net, not afraid to drive there, and just hang around that net front area in that slot and cause havoc around there. And he's been able to pot a bunch of goals this year just as a result of that, of finding that little soft space and hitting that puck home, which is massive for him. And he's had a great season.
Yeah. And he's not afraid to muck it up a little bit, get in there, get his nose dirty, and grind out win those pucks, like win those puck battles. Like he's a grinder, like he works hard. I mean, that stuff, like like you mentioned, he plays his role, like on the penalty kill. He's like so tenacious. He gets his stick in those passing lanes, like wins those 50-50 puck battles, gets to the puck first, battles guys off the puck. Like that stuff, it really adds up. Like you don't see it on the score sheet, but I mean, scouts see it, right?
Yeah, and to your point there with the PK and stuff, he really highlighted it when I was talking to him there. It was just he's really grown. His coaches have given him little opportunities to grow and develop, and he's taken those opportunities and really taken advantage of them. And it's clear he's been an impactful player this year, and it'll be exciting. He's an exciting player to watch in the future. He's got that blend of grit, work ethic, high compete with that finesse in his game too, and that skill where he can make those little plays, those sneaky, subtle, nice plays happen. So he's got that blend, and obviously that Sens team so deep. So having him there, he adds that layer to the team as well, where it makes them so dangerous. Where the line combinations they have are just unreal, and he makes that even better. So it was just phenomenal to talk to him. Great.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I was gonna say, sorry to cut you off, buddy. Like it was unfortunate I was unable to make this one, but I talked to Quinten at the after the top prospects game, and I apologize. I had a bad migraine. I remember just texting you and being like, "Oh man, can you take this one?" Like sometimes those migraines hit. It's pretty rough, but yeah, just bad timing. But yeah, he was cool with it. He was like, "Oh no worries," and he was happy to be on the pod. So. Yeah, it was unfortunate I was unable to make that one.
Yeah, but hey, he's great kid, great player,
Yeah, great kid, great personality,
great, awesome to talk to him. Just going, I also got to shout him out. He put me on that. Yeah, I asked him about the song he plays before the game. He's got that song when he's in a groove there he plays, and the one he was on recently. I gotta shout him out for that one. I put that one on the playlist, so gotta shout him out for hitting that song there. So just can't thank him enough for taking the time to come on. I know it's a busy time for a lot of players this time of year, so really can't thank him enough for taking the time, and really looking forward to watching him the rest of the year as well. So just once again, thanks again for him for taking the time, and we'll get in the next interview here now. The next interview I got the chance to talk to was Tate Vader from the Huron-Perth Lakers, forward with them. Really great player, really great conversation here. I think a lot of people are really going to enjoy this conversation. A phenomenal player and phenomenal person off the ice as well. So without further ado, here's the great interview with Tate Vader of the Huron-Perth Lakers. All right, we are now joined on the U16 pod by star forward from the Huron-Perth Lakers, Tate Vader. Tate, how's it going? Thanks for coming on.
I'm pretty good. How are you? How are you going?
Not too bad. Really excited to have you on. I mean, you've had a tremendous season with Huron-Perth. I mean, your team's had a lot of success this year in a tight alliance. I mean, first off, as I mentioned there, you've had a great season. In addition to your season with Huron-Perth, I noticed you've also appeared in several games with the Lisle Cyclones of the Go GTHL there. Can you talk to me about that experience this year, getting to play kind of up in that Go GTHL there, and how do you think that's going to ultimately help you as you look to transition to the next level there?
Yeah, it's pretty fun playing with those guys up in Lisle. I'm from Lisle myself, so I know a lot of their team, and you expect when you go to a junior team, you don't really know anybody. But for me, I get to go there and I can see some of my friends that I've known for a while. So it's kind of like coming back to play for a hometown team, like when you're little.
Nice. That's awesome. It must be cool kind of having that. It's probably unique, and must be kind of cool to have that connection to that Go JHL team there and being able to play for them. Does it add a little extra when you get to play those games for them?
Yeah, it's real fun because You get to see everyone in the crowd, like, and I'm from Lisle, so I know everyone there. I know a lot of the faces there, and just putting on a good show for everyone is always nice to see.
Nice. That's awesome. And you've had some success playing those games. And I mean, like I mentioned, you've had so much success with here on Perth this season. Your team's had a lot of success and you're prepping for a big playoff run coming up. But just to jump into your game here, I mean, first of all, watching you play and seeing your play on the ice there, I mean, you bring so much creativity to the ice. And I mean, I would be remiss if I didn't bring this up again because I mean, we saw the creativity when you guys played the Hamilton Huskies and you pulled off the Michigan in the game against the Huskies there. I mean, first, can you talk to me about pulling that off in the game against the Huskies, and then just talk to me overall, just where that creativity comes from for you?
Well, I will say I've practiced it a few times in practices. Like whenever you just got a puck on your stick, I'm always trying to pick it up, do the Michigan, because you obviously saw Svechnikov do it a few years ago. And in the game, I don't know, it was just really in the moment. I got the puck behind the net, and I was like, I think I have enough time to do this. So I just picked her up and put it in the net, but then I got smoked afterwards, and I was a little mad about that part, but it happened.
Nice. I noticed you did you got nailed afterwards, but it must have been worth it though to kind of take that hit, but also end up on the highlight reel in that sense, just to take that hit.
I think I had a little bit of adrenaline going, so didn't feel much of it.
Definitely didn't hurt as bad as it probably normally would have, knowing that you just pulled that off there. Does the creativity, because I noticed you play the game with so much creativity and you play so free, does that creativity kind of come natural, or where does that creativity you play with on the ice come from?
I'd say ever since like COVID kind of shut everything down, there's just been a lot of like stick handling and going on outdoor rinks. So there's been a lot of practicing my creativity out there. And just playing shitty with friends, like you're not going hard all the time. You're kind of just flipping the puck around, trying to make some cool plays. So I think that's where it comes from.
Nice. That's awesome. Kind of seeing that creativity kind of flourish there, and kind of it's great to hear that kind of almost flourished even more through COVID in a time where lots of people were kind of stuck in their homes and stuff, which is great.
Yeah, there was a lot of training then, a lot of training.
Nice. That's awesome. And then continuing with your game here, kind of on a similar note, I mean, you're an electric goal scorer. I mean, you scored 20 goals this year in the Alliance season. I mean, can you talk to me about just your goal scoring ability and what's allowed you to produce at such a high rate this year?
Obviously, my line mates help out a lot of that. Always getting good passes from them. I practice my shooting a lot in the basement. I got some plastic ice down there with a net and a lot of pucks. So I'm usually just down there most nights ripping shots around. That's how I my aim a lot.
Awesome. It's definitely the work down there is definitely shown, and you've got some great line mates there with you on Perth as well. So it's definitely the production's definitely shown, and the work ethic you have out there and the production, it's all coming together really nicely. And as I say, the work ethic, and as I talked about your creativity and your scoring ability, I mean, you've also got this strong, hard working, high work ethic. Sorry, I can't speak there on the ice there. I mean, where's this high work ethic and drive come from for you, and why is it so important for you to bring this toughness and like just high drive on the ice for you?
I think it all starts with my parents. My parents always told me to work hard at what I like to do, what I love. So hockey is one of the things I really like to do, and if I want to continue playing hockey, I feel like I got to work hard while playing it. So I think that's just where it comes from. I also don't like losing, so that helps a bit with it too.
Nice. I like that mindset especially as well about like you don't like losing. A lot of guys think I like winning, but I don't like losing even more is one of the sayings I hear some people throw out there, which is I think a fitting saying and all that. And then as I've talked about your creativity, your goal scoring, your work ethic on the ice. I mean, you see a lot of guys in the NHL, they have these sort of similar attributes. So kind of what players in the NHL kind of would you say you model your game after?
One big one's Nathan McKinnon. I really like how he plays. I love how he skates. I love how he shoots. He's a big captain. He seems like a great leader. He's definitely number one for sure. And then I'd say another one would be Chris Kreider. I think he might still be leading the league in goals this year. I'm not sure if he got overpassed or not. But he's really physical, and I play a physical game, so That would be another one.
Nice. So those two guys are great picks. I mean, Kreider's also got that blend of both of them got that blend of speed in different formats there. With McKinnon, obviously with the power, and then Kreider just blows by guys on a consistent basis. So those are two phenomenal guys, and there's definitely that correlation there between them and yourself with that comparison there on the ice, which is awesome. And then kind of going away from hockey, we'll got a few questions, fun questions here, just to get to know you off the ice too for our audience members. I mean, away from the rink, what are kind of some of your favorite things to do when you're not at the rink? You're playing hockey there.
When I'm not at the rink, you know what Clash Royale is?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I play a fair bit of Clash Royale. I also love spending time with my friends. I said we were always at outdoor rinks over the little shutdown we had a month ago. And then I think that's pretty much it. Also,
Nice.
I said training my basement, spent a lot of time training, video games. Oh, and schoolwork. I spend a lot of time on schoolwork sometimes.
Nice. Now with the Clash Royale, how's the Clash Royale game? Is it high, above average? How's it looking?
I'd say I'm above average at Clash Royale. I like to think I am. I do play pretty often, so if I wasn't above average, that wouldn't be very good. So
I like that. It'd probably be a bit disappointing in yourself if you weren't above average if the amount you play, I guess, eh?
can't be losing my friends at that. Would never
That's
be the end of it.
that's awesome. I love that. And then I know how you mentioned schoolwork there. I'll ask you this then. Do you have a favorite subject in school where you get homework from that class and you're like, okay, I can do this? And then there's what would you say is your least favorite subject where you get homework and you're like, oh God, I do not want to do this.
Well, it's kind of different saying in the homework state. Like in class, I really like science. Science was a really great class, or is a really great class to have in class, but the homework isn't it. Then one thing that surprised me this year was that English, I didn't have much homework for English, but English was actually I enjoyed English a lot this year, which kind of surprised me.
Wow.
So I'd say science and English were two big ones for me this year.
Wow, nice. Those are two tough classes too in general with science and English there. And that's a great point there about science and the homework too, where it's not exactly a walk in the park per se. It's with the homework they give in science.
Yeah.
I know with science, they've got the three like physics, chemistry, biology. Is there one where you prefer of the three?
At our school, next year, grade 11 is when you take the specifics for science, but I signed up for all three, so I'm sure I'll indulge myself in that next year.
Nice. That's awesome, man. That's great. And then kind of away from kind of like just those kind of stuff. I always like to. I know hockey guys. They always like to kind of it's eat healthy. You know, you got to get the healthy nutrients into you. But I know I know you guys definitely stop at the fast food restaurants every so often. Maybe hit up a Timmy's and whatnot. But do you have a favorite fast food restaurant that you go to every so often? Obviously, you don't go there a lot, but do you have a favorite fast food restaurant?
It's definitely Timmy's, 100%. You can never go wrong with Timmy's.
Nice. Yeah, is there a go-to order there at Timmy's? I know for me it's kind of the medium hot chocolate and then usually a bagel or farmer's wrap. But what's your go-to meal there for Timmy's?
Farmer's wrap for sure. Anytime, if they're selling breakfast, I don't know how long they sell breakfast for, but that's my go-to. I'm always asking for that first. And then I don't know about drinks. I'm not much of a hot drink guy. So I'll usually order like a frozen lemonade if they have them.
Nice. That's awesome. I know you guys. I don't want to get you in trouble because I know the healthy stuff is what you got to stick to stay in the good shape there. But it's always good to stop at Timmy's. I know parents as well always love to stop at Timmy's, pick up coffee or something because the rink's never warm enough. Rather, I should say.
No, the rinks aren't usually too warm.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then the last one for you, bringing it back to full circle to hockey. Always love asking this. I mean, what's been your favorite memory from your minor hockey career so far?
There was one tournament, and I believe it was Minor Adam. You know the Peterborough tournament?
Oh yeah.
So they have that one for all age groups and like all levels. So I was back in Lisle playing some rep hockey. and we won the tournament there, and we were the underdogs, and it was just the best feeling ever, beating a #1 seeded team in the finals. That was probably my favorite memory. There was also some good hotel memories from that one.
Oh, those are I find the best ones. Like the tournament winning is always the best, but I find like now that I'm not like going to tournaments and stuff, the tournaments are always the fun stuff. Kind of on the down low for a lot of people. People know it's probably messing sometimes the hotel staff, playing mini sticks in the hallway and whatnot.
In the hallways, that's it.
That seems like one of the best memories, kind of just hanging out with the boys in the hotel and kind of mini sticks to hallways or movies in someone's hotel room and whatnot, or just hitting up a restaurant and just like chilling there after a big game or something. That's probably the memories that probably stick around the most too, along with the winning, eh?
Yep, that's for sure.
Oh, definitely. Well, that's a pretty good way to end it, I think. Just on a great kind of underdog tournament win memory there. So just wrapping up, man. Just really appreciate you taking the time, Tate. I mean, just best of luck. Best of luck to your team and yourself in the Alliance playoffs. Best of luck the rest of the season, and best of luck the OHL draft. Thanks for coming on the pod.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man.
And we're back from the interview with Tate Vader, forward from the Huron-Perth Lakers. Just a great interview, great personality, talking to him. It's just a consistent theme with this episode so far with the players we've had on here. Just so humble and so down to earth. This Tate is, and it translates on the ice, off the. It's funny talking to him. He's so calm off the ice when you're talking to him, but on the ice, he's got that high work ethic, that high drive, and he's just one of those players that no matter what, you kind of notice him, whether it be for the skill he's able to create or the creativity he displays on the ice, but also just the work ethic. Like his drive is unreal. He does not stop moving his feet. I remember the first time seeing him actually this year was actually at draft day in the summer, and he was one of the hardest workers on the ice. And it also converted. Hearing people around me too, man, they're talking about Vader. That Vader kid is unreal, and I was like, wow, they're right. This Vader kid is unreal because he was moving his feet, he was making plays, and he's consistently been doing that this season with Huron-Perth, and it's been a driving force for that team this year. And I mean, he combines that work ethic and that drive with a bit of skill and a bit of finesse sometimes, and some creativity on the ice. And I loved how he talked about kind of just getting out on the rink during COVID and all the shutdowns, and kind of taking advantage of that to kind of practice and have some fun. And he took that to the ice, and it was fun. It's fun when I had to talk with him. We had to talk with him about the Michigan he pulled off against the Hamilton Huskies there. It's always fun seeing that. It's becoming more and more popular, but it's always tough. He took a licking too on that play too, when he took the hit to make the play. Someone leveled him, but it was well worth it. It was still well worth it for him. But he's got that blend of creativity, high work ethic, drive, physicality on the ice there that just makes him such a dangerous player in terms of the forward and being such an effective centerman as well. And he's been an electric goal scorer this year as well. He's seen the production, the work he's put in, the effort he's shown on the ice, has seen the results. He's got 20 goals on the season here, leading scorer on his team, one of the top players in the Alliance as a whole. And he's definitely a player I think a lot of scouts have seen and are excited to watch. And definitely it's going to be excited to see Huron-Perth in the playoffs when he's out there for them, because that makes them we talked about it earlier in the episode. It's tight in the Alliance there, and Huron-Perth, I believe they should be around that 6th seed there in the Alliance, and it's gonna be so tight for them. I think whoever faces them, it's gonna be a tough series. That team plays physical, led by Vader there with that physicality. It's just a tough battle whenever he's out on the ice there. So it's just, and he leads as well. He's a tremendous leader. He's got those intangible aspects. It's just a phenomenal player, I think, Ryan.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I wish I got the chance to meet him. Like I really screwed up on this one. Like I had a scheduling error, and I missed this one. I was in Brampton getting ready to go to a game, and I missed the next one too. I wasn't on any of the interviews for this episode, but yeah, anyways, we'll kind of get back to like Tate and the analysis on him. So yeah, sorry to these players for missing them. I didn't get the chance to talk to Tate about that, but yeah, no, it was unfortunate I missed that. But anyways, he's so good. Like I really wanted to have him on the podcast just because he's really been impressive all year. Like his biggest thing, like he's really, really strong, like really sturdy, super well balanced. So like that kind of build and that stuff is really working for him. Like his skating and speed and that motor is just relentless. Like he really can fly. Like he's got great burst and acceleration and really quick player. Like also like his puck skills are great, like great hands, great passing, and just like stick handling and ability to control and cradle the puck. Just unbelievable. Like really high end player, really elite. And like quick, right? Like really quick. Like he gets the pucks first, wins puck battles, like loose pucks. Like he's kind of always going to pick those up, and he's really smart. Like his hockey IQ is so elite in terms of just kind of creating and generating turnovers, just anticipating where the puck's going to go. That ability to kind of, he guesses right way more often than he guesses wrong. Let's just say that. And it's like it causes a lot of turnovers, like a lot of broken up passes, a lot of plays going the other way that you wonder like if he can kind of tell the future in advance. Like sometimes it's like, how do you know that puck's going to go there? Like he just kind of guesses. And I find that really interesting. Like players that have those instincts, like they say that's the Gretzky thing, right? Like wait, like I'm not comparing him to Gretzky, but like that's what they said about Gretzky was like, I mean, like you watch him, he wasn't like particularly faster than anyone or anything. It was just those instincts. And I'm not comparing him to Gretzky, but having great hockey instincts are like huge. And that's really working for him, the IQ. We talked about this with Lisle, but it's kind of similar to Vader, that play without the puck, skating to open areas, being that outlet, getting open is also a big strength, right?
No, absolutely. And another thing with Tate this year has been really his development as a two-way center as well. He's really found a way to develop and kind of gain that two-way aspect. He's been so strong offensively, but also continually to grow and develop that defensive side of his game, which has been so continually being effective at, which has been awesome. Like I mentioned earlier, he's got those intangible aspects. He's clearly a leader on his team, and he's clearly just love everyone. See, he's a great kid and just great teammate on the ice too. So it's honestly phenomenal. It's great to talk to him. Just can't thank him enough for taking the time as well. As I know it's a busy time of the season for him as well, with the Alliance season coming up close. So once again, just thanks so much to Tate for taking the time. Really appreciate him coming on. So we'll jump into the final interview we have here. We got defenseman Callum Cheynowski from the Southern Tier Admirals, kind of right in my neck of the woods here this year, where I'm located for school. So really excited for this player. Got to see him a fair bit this season. So without further ado, here's the interview with defenseman Callum Cheynowski from the Southern Tier Admirals. All right, we are now joined on the U16 pod by star defenseman from the Southern Tier Admirals U16 AAA program, Callum Cheynowski. Callum, how's it going?
Good, you?
Not too bad. Pumped to have you on. Got to see you a lot this year as I'm down in Niagara. I brought you there, and you got a great team with Southern Tier, and you've had a great season yourself. And I mean, in addition to your time with Southern Tier, you've also played a couple games with the Thorold Blackhawks junior B team of the Go GTHL. First off, what's it been like getting to appear in those games with Thorold, and how do you think that experience is going to ultimately help you as you look to transition to the next level there?
It's been pretty good. Like, it's a lot faster than the U16 league, so you're just trying to keep your head up and look out for the big guys and just trying to make the plays quicker and everything.
I guess it's probably sometimes there's some guys in the Goat who are probably looking to make a bigger hit than other guys in the U16, eh?
Yeah, a lot more.
Yeah, they're definitely playing sometimes a bit faster. They're in the Goat, and it's definitely I've watched you for the 2 games you played. You've got a couple points in both those games, which has been great, and you've definitely been able to transition fairly well there. And I mean, getting into your individual game now, one of the attributes that I've noticed and a lot of people notice that's a big part of your game is just your skating ability. I mean, it's top notch. I mean, can you talk to me about just how you like to use your feet in different situations to take advantage out there?
Yeah, so I just try and get to open space, so it gives me more time with the puck. So I'm looking for the guys ahead of me to make those quick passes and give them more space too.
Nice. I noticed your skating's a great segue into my next question here, which is your aggressiveness. You use your skating so well, which is what I noticed, to be so aggressive out there on both ends of the ice, and your own end to just shut down the opposition, as well as on the offense to kind of just take control. I mean, being an aggressive defenseman, is that something that you focus on Can you talk to me just about why that's so important to you to be so aggressive out there on both the offensive and defensive end there?
So I just try and jump up and every play I can get. Like I just like to be like an offensive defenseman. So like anytime I can jump up, just trying to get in the play. Like I just like being in the zone.
Nice. And it's definitely been impactful for your team out there. And another element on the offensive end that I think is definitely stood out is your shot. I mean, it's just a booming shot. I've seen guys like try to block it and it just looks painful for those guys, or if one of your teammates have to stand in front of the net, it just looks painful. I mean, has the shot always been natural for you, or what have you done to kind of develop that shot into what it's been into now?
No, I've had to develop it a little bit, like just the different variations of the shot, like the quick snapshot. Like I really worked on that in the past few years. Like
Now to your point with that quick snapshot, is that something that as a defenseman you found that's been an important implementation for you to be able to get that shot off quick there?
yeah, like whenever I receive it on the blue line, like I'm just trying to get in position with the shot and just get it right off my stick, so no one can get in the way.
Yeah, exactly. That's a great point there, which is so important for any defenseman with a great shot like yours. So, and then just transition a bit. I mean, what player in the NHL would you say you model your game after?
Uh, well, it'd be Cale Makar. I really like the deception on him. Like, and he's very offensive too. So he's always in the plays up in the O zone, like always jumping in and getting those shots off. And yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely a relatable defenseman. He's definitely got that offensive prowess, and he's definitely that quick. He's also got one of those quick snapshots as well that he just gets able to get off quick in that regard too. Um, and then we'll move away from hockey here for a bit. I mean, just to get to know you a bit off the ice too. I mean, first question for you. What would you say is your biggest pet peeve, whether it be hockey related or not hockey related? What would you say is your biggest pet peeve?
Um, Pet peeve is probably, I would say, responsibility. Just taking responsibility of your actions and stuff, like on or off the ice. So if you make a bad play or something, or bad decision off the ice, like I'm always trying to be responsible for it.
Yeah, just kind of like own up to it type thing. Like if you make a bad play, own up to it, and then just move on to the next one and make a better play, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it's a great one. And then, if you could, this is a fun one. I like to see who got what kind of chores. Everyone's got kind of chores around their house and stuff. So, if you could eliminate one chore that you normally have to do at home, which one would you eliminate?
It'd probably be laundry. I hate doing that. Keeps adding up. Like seems every day. Like you always got to do a load.
Is
Terrible.
the hockey equipment ever a part of the laundry load, or are you a superstitious guy where you can't wash it if it's going good?
No, I don't mind washing that each time, because sitting beside some guys, it's brutal. It's
Oh,
all embarrassing.
some guys maybe have some stenchy equipment there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think I had a teammate one year when I played. His equipment smelled so bad, like he'd walk into the rink, not even the dressing room, and people would be like, "What is that smell?" And it was just,
Yeah.
it was like, I think some guys, it's like you gotta wash it, just forget the superstition, but I think it's good.
Yeah,
Laundry.
47 on my team. His stuff is reeks.
Oh, does it really, eh?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, somebody might have to keep the laundry as a part of his chores there.
Oh yeah, he does.
Okay, that's okay. I like that. I like that little tidbit there. A little shot at a teammate there. I like that. I like that. That's fun. All right. Okay, so last one for you here. Another fun one. I know hockey players love to eat healthy, but what is your favorite cheat meal?
Cheat meal would probably be pizza and wings with some blue cheese. That it's always good.
How many do you think you could get down like in one sitting? What's the
Chicken wings?
Yeah, how many do you think you could like just hammer down there?
Probably good. I would say a good 25 maybe.
Holy, oh my gosh. That's a
Uh,
good that's a solid load there too.
Mhm.
Probably not going chicken wings too often though, because you hockey players, we gotta stay on that healthy diet.
Yep.
Okay, so that's great. Just great, just awesome to talk to you, Callum. Really great to learn about your game. Love asking the fun questions, get to know you a bit here. It's been awesome. It's been awesome watching you play with Southern Tier this season, and hopefully we'll get to watch you more in the SCTA playoffs there. And best of luck just the rest of the season. Best of luck at the SCTA playoffs and best of luck at the OHL draft. Thanks for coming on the pod.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
And we're back from the interview with defenseman Callum Cheynowski from the Southern Tier Admirals U16 AAA program. Really great talking to him. Really kind of, when you talk to him also, it's kind of similar. Off the ice, he's got that cool, calm, collected vibe. And then on the ice, I mean, he's got that quickness to a game. And for me, when watching Cheynowski play, it starts with his mobility. It all comes from his feet. He's got to be one of the best skaters in the SCTA in terms of on defense there. Just with his ability to use his skates to quickness, or really get out of pressure, move in open space really quickly. He's got good edges where he's able to move laterally really well. Really quarterbacks the point really well as well.
Yeah.
Really effective in that regard. But he's a defenseman who's got that aggressiveness. He's a highly aggressive D who's able to really push the pace. He's always constantly, and he talked about he's an offensive defenseman where he's consistently looking to kind of push the pace, lead up from the back end there from his own zone, whether it be him carrying the puck up and really kind of driving that zone entry, or kind of really making a quick pass up and getting that offense quickly and up into the opposition zone there. That's a big part of his game, I think. And it is worth noting, though, he did get to play actually last season as well. He's a member of the Buffalo Junior Sabres 15 team. So he was able to get in some action last year, but he is one of those players who's, I think the name of his game is that mobility, aggressiveness, and just pushing the pace offensively there.
Yeah, definitely. He's a really aggressive defenseman. Like even defensively, like I noticed he plays really high. So when guys are coming in on him, he won't let them get past kind of that top of the circle. He won't even really let them get to his own blue line at times. Like he likes to really take those guys right away and attack them, which I love. And he also attacks in the neutral zone quite a bit. Tries to jump in, knock away passes, like break up plays before they even get to his zone, which I love. Like really, really aggressive, even on the pinches. Great timing on the pinches. He doesn't hesitate. He goes for it, and he goes for it often. And he breaks up those plays and keeps it in the offensive zone more often than not. Really, really kind of sure of himself because he's got that. Like he's a great skater, right? Like you mentioned that. Like he moves well, and like he's decent size. Like he's got good size, large frame. Like he's filled out, and considerably. Like he's got good kind of steady strength and that stuff. So he makes those solid plays, and yeah, like he's really opportunistic offensively, right? Really, really aggressive. So he likes to jump in and get that shot off. He's got a great shot. Really, really powerful shot. And you mentioned like quarterbacking the power play, like he facilitates the puck well, but he also can get that puck through nice and low to the net, puts it in good spots, like hits hard, playable pucks for the forwards, right? Pucks that they can tip and pucks that they can play with and try to make a chance out of. And those nice low shots, like they create a lot of rebounds as well and a lot of opportunities. And yeah, like he just flat out likes to jump in and try to produce offense. I saw him recently in a game in Hamilton, and he was really good. Like he was definitely the standout for me on STA. By far for me the best player on that team. Like really, really good player. And I mean, yeah, just kind of complete overall, right? Like
Yeah,
great skater. Good with the puck, good puck skills. Yeah, just really, really good player.
no, to your point about his shot, it's just a booming shot. It's quick, it's hard, it's fast. It's a phenomenal shot. And to your point as well earlier about him jumping up and really taking advantage and making those reads. He's also, one of the things I noticed really early on watching was just his stick work as well, and his aggressiveness with the stick and ability to put that in the right spots, be on the right side of the puck, and then come out with those loose puck battles with the puck because of his good stick work. And he's really able to use it really well to kind of just, use it as an extension of his body. He doesn't always have to use his body. He can use it as an extension and kind of knock the puck off guys and just break up the rush that way. He just uses it in multiple different ways, and it's really effective watching him use it that way. So, I mean, Cheynowski is just a defenseman. I think It'll be he's a fun player for me that I'll be really excited to watch him develop and watch what team picks him and where he ends up going in the draft, because I think he could possibly be a player that could jump in at the OHL next year, with the right development and with the right system, put him with the right team. I'd be really excited to see what happens with him in the future here, because he's an exciting player to watch. And for me, he's put himself as the top defenseman in the SCTA right now here. So he's definitely a player who's put himself with his play in an upper echelon of defensemen in the SCTA and U16 AAA. So it was phenomenal getting to talk to him, phenomenal getting to have him on the pod. Really looking forward. We should see Southern Tiers having a successful playoffs right now, so really excited to watch them some more. So it'll be exciting to watch how they progress. But really can't thank Callum enough for taking the time to come on the pod. Really great talking to him. It was phenomenal getting to have all the players on. Just as we wrap up here, just big thanks to Quinten Lisle for coming on. Big thanks to Tate Vader for coming on. Callum Cheynowski, big thanks to him as well for coming on. Really appreciate those players taking the time. And just as we wrap up now completely, as we wrap up the episode here, like we usually do, definitely go follow us on our social media platforms, Twitter and Instagram at the U16pod. Go follow myself on Twitter and Instagram at CWilliams_384. You can follow Ryan on Twitter and Instagram at Ryan P. MacArthur. You want to send a message to the podcast, feel free to send any inquiries to the podcast Gmail, the U16pod@gmail.com. And definitely, if you're watching on YouTube, definitely hit that like and subscribe button or comment below. A nice positive comment. We love seeing those. And and definitely, if we're on whatever podcast platform you're listening, don't forget to download and like on that as well. Whether you're listening on Amazon, Google, Apple Podcast, Spotify, whatever you're listening on, definitely hit that download and like button on there. But until next time, we'll see you next time on the U16 pod. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Yeah, take care, everybody.